So the next concept is expression transformation. So can someone tell me what are the row level functions in IICS? Sorry, in Oracle? Can someone remember the row level functions? String functions, numeric functions, date functions, toDate, toChar, concat. Okay, so whenever we wanted to apply any kind of row level functions, so whatever the row level functions that we learned in SQL, so if at all we wanted to apply the similar row level function, similar row level functions in IICS, we can use this expression transformation. Expression transformation, so where you will be having here in the left side. So what you should do is either you just drag and drop in between this flow. The transformation will be automatically coming up. Okay, this is one option. If this option is not there, so by default, if it is like this, there is a light symbol. You can click here also. You can select the respective transformations. So very frequent transformation, very frequently used transformation will be coming on the top, and the rest of the transformations will be on the bottom. Okay, you can just select what transformation that you wanted for this requirement. For now, I wanted this expression transformation because expression transformation will be used to perform or to apply any row level function in IICS. Only row level functions, not the group level functions or analytical functions. For all the row level functions that you learned in Oracle will be applied in the expression transformation. So in expression transformation, when you select it, so if you go to the properties, just maximizing it. So first thing is if you come to incoming fields, okay. So incoming fields are going to play a major role in the expression transformations because when we connect the when we connect the ports from multiple transformations, all the ports will be coming to a single transformation. So that with the same field, if at all multiple names are there, with the same name with multiple fields are there, then field name duplications are going to come up in the expression transformation. So field rules are going to play a major role here. Okay, so when you have multiple fields, so which field you should keep, we have an option of include and exclude. Okay, so in this requirement, whatever we have, if you see in the target table field mapping, so this department ID is coming 2 times. Hey, come on, there should be one department ID 1. Okay, department ID 1 is not there because I have added the query directly here. In the source, I have added the query by excluding department number 1. Let's say I have department ID 1. Okay. Now, in the target table, I don't want to use the department ID 1, but there is other use in between. So for that purpose, I have used it. Okay. Now, so in the target, I don't want to connect this department ID 1. Now, what I can do for every transformation after source, every transformation will be having these incoming fields, and it will be for every incoming fields will be having field rules. So in these transformations, what are the required fields and what are the not required fields? Okay, so first thing, include all fields will be there, just leave it as it is, and then you click on this plus symbol in the field rules, select which one should exclude. Now in the click on configure, which all fields that you wanted to exclude. Now I wanted to exclude this department ID 1, even though it is coming from source, I don't want to get it to the next transformation, so we can exclude that. Whatever the fields that we don't want at all, so we can exclude them. Okay, now I have excluded field 1. So this department number 1, so that if I go to the target now in the field mapping, see I don't have department ID 1, even though it is coming from source, we don't have here because I have excluded in the expression transformation. Okay, so this is about incoming fields. The next property is expression. So this is the place where we are going to create fields and write the functions. When it comes to expression here, now what I'm going to do, just click on this plus symbol. Now we can create output ports. Let's say in our target table, we have first name, last name, email. For suppose we have a requirement that we don't have first name or last name. We just have only the employee name field. So what I'm going to do, I'll just alter this table. Alter table plus underscore target top column. I'm just dropping these two columns. Okay, I'm just dropping these two columns. Now in the employee table, I don't have this column, but I'm adding one field called employee name. I have added one employee name field. Okay, so now in my employees table, employees underscore target table, I have an employee name here. Okay, from source I'm getting first name and last name. From source I'm getting first name and last name. So we will be having a requirement document. So that requirement document is telling that employee name is a combination of first name and last name. Concat first name and last name and populate as employee name. Concat first name and last name and populate employee name. Now what we should do is we have to, since concat is a function which is a row level function, so that in order to apply a row level function, we have to use expression transformation. So in the expression transformation, I just click on this expression tab. Then in the expression where we'll be having fields, like leave about the macro fields. Okay, so first consider only output fields or variable fields. Okay, now this is an output field. So the difference between output field and variable field is output field will be just used to connect the values to the next transformation. Variable field is to use to apply any function, but we don't need to connect to the next transformation. So for now, let us forget about this variable field also. So I'm just creating an output field. So in the output field, I'm giving always when we create any output field, O underscore is the naming standard that we have to follow. O underscore employee underscore name. Now string, we have to see the target data type. So how much is the data type? I have 200 in the target data type. When I altered it, I've given 200. So we have to check in the target table what is the precision that we have in the target table. The same precision we have to keep it here. And default value, just remove it. Click on OK. Now the field is created. Now configure it. So what kind of expression that we will have to? On the left side, we'll be having all the fields. First name. Either we can use concat function like this, first name comma concat of last name, validate. Okay, so this concat function is going to concat first name and last name. Then validate it, make sure the expression is valid, then click on OK.
So Bhaskar, here we have written concat first name again bracket concat. So single concat word we can use, right? Concat first name space last name.
Yes. So this is what I have explained when I explained about SQL. Because with one concat function, we can concatenate only two columns. This is one column, this is one column. And I wanted to give space between this first name and last name. So this space is again one more
Okay, for this space we
Yeah.
use this. Okay, got
For
it.
this space, first what I'm doing, by using this concat function, I'm concatenating space with the last name. And then this result, I'm concatenating with the first name. Okay. Click on OK. Now, when I go to target, in target again, first go to incoming fields. In the incoming fields, where we'll be getting all the columns, first name, last name, every field. But we don't need to populate the first name and last name. So that's why go to field rules, exclude the fields that we don't need to populate for the target. Now I don't want first name and last name here. First name and last name I don't want. Deselect it. Sorry, select them so that it will be get excluded. In the target fields, if you go, you'll be having first name and last name because the table level changes are happened on the database. In order to reflect those database changes into IICS, we will have to refresh it. Now when I refresh it, all fields and synchronize, again all the fields will be synced. It will be synchronized with this here. Now we have the employee name. Now go to field mapping. So this employee name, O underscore employee name, that we will have to connect to the employee name field. Now save it. Once you save it, make sure mapping is valid. Now you run it. Okay, 3 records loaded again. Now let me execute this employees underscore target table. See, employee name is populated. So now let me pin it just for cross verification. So this is the query that I have used in the database that I have used in IICS. First name for employee ID 200. First name is Jennifer. Last name is Valen. If you see here, Jennifer Valen. Okay. So this is how the values will be concatenated and coming up. Okay. Now, so this is one option of using expression. See, this is one way. This is one function that I explained. Let's say in the target table we have an hire date. So this hire date actually it is coming from source, but I don't want to populate from source. I don't want to populate from source. What I wanted to do is the requirement is telling that first use system date to populate for the hire date. Whenever new record is coming up, so use the system date. Don't go with the hire date which is there in the database. Now go to expression. In the expression tab, in the expression property, click one more output field O underscore type date. Select the data type as date and time. Click OK. Then click on configure. Use system date here. This date. Okay. Now in the target, I don't want in the incoming fields. I wanted to exclude the field called hire date which is coming from source because I wanted to use O underscore hire date which is coming from expression. So I have excluded the other field also. Now go to the field mapping. This hire date is unavailable. I'm just unmapping it. I'm just mapping O underscore hire date. Now I'm saving it. Now if you see the hire date, we have 87, 96, 96, 97 like that. Right? Now when I execute this mapping. So because that was the existing run, which is coming from source. Click on Now let me execute these tables. Select star from employees underscore target. Where is this? Okay. Yeah. 0103 0103 0103. Everything is populated with the system data. Okay. So this is how we can use it. Let's say we have a phone number with dots. I don't want dots to be loaded into the database. So what is the function that we will have to use to remove replace function? Let's say the business is telling that whenever you see any dot, just replace it with empty string. Okay, I don't want this dot to be loaded. Now what we should do in the same expression, create one more field, go to expression tab, go underscore phone number. This is a make it as integer field. Precision, yeah, integer default 10 came. Now go to configure. Replace function. Replace of this phone number in the phone number field wherever we see a dot, replace with empty string, two single quotes. So just validate invalid function reference. Why invalid function reference is coming? Because the phone number field which is coming from source is a varchar field. Okay, but the output port what I have created is an integer field. So what I should do, I have to use two integer field here to convert this string function into a var. To decimal. So let me go to fields, built-in functions, numerical functions. So we have two decimal function. Two decimal of, let's say, 10. So I wanted 10 characters. Invalid function reference. Sorry, maybe. Okay, the replace function name is instead of using replace, replace will work in Oracle. Replace str function you might need to use. So the replace str function is having certain syntax. See, we have to see the syntaxes, proper syntaxes that we will have to see. Okay. So these functions, 90, as I mentioned, right, 99% the functions will be same. Sometimes these kind of differences will be there. Okay. When we have, what is the difference between replace string, replace char? So it is kind of a replace character is nothing but kind of a translate in Oracle. Replace string is nothing but it is a replace function in Oracle. Okay. So replace of, so we have to give the flag. So the syntax for replace str is flag. Okay. Flag 0, 1 values will be there because to identify whether it is a case sensitive or insensitive. Okay. So then if flag is true, true is nothing but 1. So if it is 1, then it is going to consider it as a case sensitive. If it is 0, the flag will be false. This is a case insensitive. Now, 2 decimal of replace string of let me delete everything. Now just write replace string. Flag will be, let's say, 1. String 1 is phone number. String 2 is dot, and string 4 is 2 dots. So I'm just giving replace string as 1, that is case insensitive, sorry, case sensitive, and wherever I'm seeing dot, just replace with empty string. Now it is valid. Now we can use 2 decimal function. 2 decimal of value comma 10, because how many characters that I wanted. Click on OK. The function is, so that's why every function that we are going to write it, first we should validate it and make sure the expression is valid, then we should use it. Otherwise it is, the mapping will throw an error, so it will be very difficult to identify. So in which place which expression is having this issue will be, it will be very difficult to identify. So that's why whenever you write any expression, make sure you are validating that expression. Okay. Now go to target. So in the field mapping, I have O underscore phone number. So I'm just unmapping the phone number which is coming from source and just connecting it to underscore phone number. See, the reason to exclude the fields which are unwanted here is because here we have O underscore phone number, we have phone number. Sometimes what is going to happen, see, both will looks like same only. So sometimes what we will do, instead of connecting this O underscore phone number, we will directly connect this phone number. So then if you see the data, it will not working. Like, the data will be loaded with the source values only. The replace values you won't be able to see. So then will be getting struggled. So just to avoid those struggles only, so whatever the fields which does not at all required, exclude them here directly. I don't want this phone number too, so I'm just excluding it. So in the field mapping, if I come, so how many fields that I have in incoming? 11. How many fields that I have to connect? Also 11. So exact same number of fields are there. So we can, it will be easy for us to identify and connect it, whether to right field that we are mapping to the right column or not. Now I'm saving it. Now run it. Now let me go to the target. See, we have the values with the dots here. Now when I run it, phone number is loaded with null. Can someone tell me why? Because in the mapping, so in the target table, if you see target fields, phone number is a string data type. Okay, but in the expression, I have created this phone underscore phone number as integer field. Because of that, it is null. Now, let me change the data type to string 20. Then go here, remove this 2 decimal part because we don't need to convert anything to decimal, and validate it. Make sure the expression is valid. Now save it or run it. See, there are two options here. So sometimes if you are not mapping properly also, like, the field will be having null values. It's not like only data type conversions. If you're not connecting right field also, we'll be having issue. But here for phone number, I have connected the right field as O_number. The reason was the conversion. Because I'm trying to insert a numeric value into a string value. That's where it was loaded as null value. See, sometimes this IICS will insert it. Okay, it's not like it's every time it is going to do the same thing. Sometimes it will work. Sometimes it will directly insert numeric values will go to the string values. Okay, but always we need to make sure to use the right data types. Succeeded. Now let me execute this. See, the phone number is populated without dots, because that dot I am replacing it with empty string in expression transformation. So like this, if at all we wanted to apply any kind of row level functions as per the requirements, we will be using the expression transformation. Okay, so for every requirement, we need to see whether this function needs to be applied for every row or group of rows. If you wanted to apply for every row, then we have to use this expression transformation. In the expression tab, we have to create the respective expressions and give the functions. Make sure all of them are getting validated, and then we should use them in the next transformation or to the target. Any question? Anyone having any question here?
No, Bhaskar.
Others? Risha, Jayanta?
No, Bhaskar.
No, Bhaskar.
Chandu?
I think while practicing, we'll get it out, Bhaskar. I'll connect with you that time.
Definitely. See, when you are going to practice, you will be getting 100 doubts. Okay. Fine. I think this is enough for today. I don't want to take any other transformation now. Okay, we'll connect tomorrow, and we'll go with the next transformation. But since it is Saturday, I request everyone to practice.